What's up, guys? This is Ramen coming at you with the Filthy Casuals podcast, and today we have
The Yeti,
Oh,
who is
God.
very, very sleepy.
everybody's like sleepy-ish today.
I've been doing yard work the last few days. I don't want to hear it.
All right, then we got Dre and Zach.
Hello.
So we'll start out with the normal. What have you been up to this week, Yeti? Or I guess 2 weeks now,
Shoveling dirt.
because you're a filthy casual.
Literally shoveling dirt. Into a barrel, moving the barrel, pouring it out, spreading it out, then shoveling more dirt.
Putting in a barrel, spreading it out, getting
That's
more dirt.
pretty much what I've been doing. That and modded Minecraft.
Nice. How about you, Dre?
Watching One Piece.
Such a good anime.
Such a fun anime, yeah.
Yeah, later on this year, one of our topics will be One Piece, and it's going to be parts that it's going to cover. The first part is going to cover episodes 1 through 195, which ends like right after the Sky Island arc. So, yeah. How about you, Zach?
He's been doing nothing.
It's been work, and I've been binging through. I've been watching Trinity 7 and on a list of ecchi anime I started, which I'm not going to start naming off, and I've been playing Tales of Zestiria whenever I get off work.
So,
on top of watching the ecchi
Good
anime.
boy.
So Akikan was the second from Trinity 7, so that's my next anime.
Trinity 7's good.
For an ecchi action flick, whatever. Pretty fun.
Yeah. I mean, they've done worse. I actually went back and watched High School DD about a month ago.
Ugh.
Not the best story, but good action.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Alright, so this...
So-
Go ahead.
Go.
I was just saying, so this week I've just been pretty much getting ready for Legion. By the way, I believe Dre has a YouTube channel now. I'll link his in the description. Y'all can check his channel out. And I am going to be starting posting more stuff on my own YouTube channel. A lot to do with World of Warcraft, and especially now with Legion coming out. I'm going to be going a lot more doing stuff with that. And I've been prepping for Legion. Is pretty much what I've been doing this past week. That and watching stuff off and on. So today's talk is going to be... Go ahead.
Speaking of Legion, D3, a lot of D3.
So real quick before we get to today's topic, there's actually a very, very big, what's it called, conspiracy going on in the community, that because what Blizzard said, because they really didn't announce anything at Gamescom for Diablo, all they pretty much said at Gamescom was like, oh, I mean, there's still BlizzCon this year. Y'all are going to get a really good surprise at BlizzCon. There's a lot of people that think that they're doing Diablo 4 at BlizzCon.
The reason I doubt that is, do you know why Diablo 3 was made?
Yeah, it was a fan project. It was just their fun thing that they enjoy doing.
It was their passion project.
Yeah.
That's the only reason it was made.
But
My thing is, with how they have their season schedule finally set up, why would they go back and make a new game when they can just give us something we want in this one, which is either a new class or make satyrs not shit?
I don't know what Satyrs
Because right
are.
now, Crusaders are completely
Crusaders.
useless in Diablo 3 right now.
I mean, I just know what a lot of the
I highly
talk about it
highly doubt
is
they're gonna come
because
out with
they
a new one. It's-
they said there's something big coming out for Diablo at BlizzCon pretty much.
probably an expansion. It wouldn't surprise me. It's in need of one.
Anyways, so the topic this week is magical girl anime. We will end up hitting this topic again later on with some other animes. This week we're gonna hit Madoka Magica and Sailor Moon mostly. We're going to come back later on with the Magical Boy anime. where we're gonna hit high school boys save the world club love and is this a zombie later on, and then like I said, we'll hit the magical girl anime a few times. I don't want to overburden each one with more with a lot of anime, so this way we have more time to talk about each thing and what we like and don't like and stuff like that. So yeah, what do y'all have to say about Madoka versus Sailor Moon, or either one in general?
They were both garbage. Discussion over.
That was all
Damn.
trash.
All right, guys.
I'm done. No.
Okay, the English for Sailor Moon was trash.
God,
I
I
would agree
The
on that.
original was good.
Yes, I would agree.
Because you know why the main reason the American one was garbage? Because guys can't be Sailor Scouts.
That's like the dumbest.
That was the main problem with it. They made guys Sailor Scouts.
Well, can we just go like watch Saint Seiya if we wouldn't needed the guys? You know, just saying.
Saint Seiya is always a good watch. Go watch that.
Magical
Or,
boy show.
see. I just oh god, freaking Madoka was just so good and finishing and everything. It just like I was like, oh, I just.
I mean, at the okay, with Madoka, right? That's
Yeah.
a Gen Urabuchi plot, all right? Or he's the script writer for that one. So he was, if you know anyone out there knows Steins Gate, right? He's one that look for the most darkest path or kill everybody ending, basically. Not don't just say the kill everybody ending, but he'll look for the darkest and just kind of like he'll go for the alternate route and is just worrying about being good. Right, so when Madoka leads you on thinking, oh, it's a typical magical girl anime, right? You start out, you know, you watch, you know, the first 2 episodes, and it starts off just like any typical Mahou shoujo with a darker tone to it, with its distinct art style. Though if anyone you read the manga, it looks very different from its actual anime, because it is, I think, as I remember, the manga is based off the anime. But you get into a point where you're like 7 episodes in, but it really doesn't actually worry about, if you get 7 episodes in, it just tries to get away from being a magical girl anime in its own right. It starts to, you start following the character Homura, right? That's the one in this one path line, because there's plenty of spin-offs to Madoka Magica. There's a ton of doujinshi that have became like different alternate path lines to Madoka. / there's two movies with our Madoka Rebellion that have nothing to do with no, God, if I'm wrong here, but have really nothing to do with what you saw in the first 1 through 12, the original
Yeah.
Madoka Magica. So when you get to the point my thoughts of it, my thoughts when I watched it years ago, when I was watching it as it came out, right, is that it's so heavily psychological. And it's obviously, like any kind of magical girl anime, it's character driven, right? And pretty much as you follow, if you jump into this world, you're following pretty much Homura, really, in the original plot, right? You were following Homura, right? And the story leading up to what leads her to try to stop what's going on. Pretty much, and it's her constantly redoing everything.
And it's all her fault.
And
Yeah.
and it is all.
Not to basically become a magical girl.
But
And for you viewers, excuse me, I'm exhausted as hell. So me being fluent, if I piss you off or leave something out, I'm sorry.
yeah, I think all of us are like super tired right now because I've had about an hour of sleep since I got off this morning, and I went and worked out a little while earlier. So yeah. But
Like, shit.
hey, you know what? Who cares? We're here to do it. Me, I really liked Madoka. Thing is, it wasn't what I expected. I really hadn't watched much in the terms of magical girls previously, anime, so it wasn't like I was coming in expecting a certain thing from magical girl. But it was a lot darker than I expected. It's not like many anime that. Oh,
Well, yeah, no, because it doesn't follow.
we're gonna
the
kill off
traditional
all
lines
these
of
characters.
Well, no, because it doesn't follow the traditional line of magical girl anime. So it's just like,
No,
which, like I said, basically is why, in my opinion, it's the better one of the two. Two, from someone who has watched all of Sailor Moon. Oh God, certain points just oh God.
You know what's sad?
Mm.
A lot of Super Sentai plots was better than Sailor Moon.
Or at least the American one.
the American one.
Hey,
Power
you guys-
Rangers.
Hey, Power Rangers had some really good plots in them. It did
Hell yeah.
there, but that's off topic.
That is
So-
off topic. Super Sentai topic. We're just gonna devote a whole thing. Oh my god, that's a one we gotta throw in here.
God,
So,
Super
we
Sentai.
gotta do that on a weekly basis.
mhm.
We can show off all of our toys.
I'll
Yeah,
show you
come
some
on, man.
toys.
Was it
I
manga
used
though?
to.
I will say though that like for what it is, Sailor Moon is one of the more okay sides of basic magical girl anime because there are some out there that it's just like, what the fuck are you doing?
Why the fuck am I watching this kind of thing?
Like, if anyone out there's ever heard of Tokyo Mew Mew or some bullshit?
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Struggle in that.
I would agree. Like the actual plot points and what it actually wasn't that like
It makes no
wasn't that great.
sense.
It makes no sense. But I can't lie. I'm not saying that it's my favorite or like I would go rewatch it. But when I did watch it, I just kind of like turned my brain off, like Sword Art Online, and just kind of watched it.
Mhm.
That's what I had to do with Sword Art to actually get through it. Turn my brain off. So I can't really like. But you're right. Sailor Moon is still better than Tokyo Mew Mew any day, or whatever we call it.
Right, basically, and it's just like, it's just no. Plus, wasn't there like a point where it's like that came on like every day, so we had to follow like the whole like everyday TV
Yeah.
show type of plot?
You had to be like on time with it just to actually know where it went, and it went nowhere. It was kind of like watching Beyblade after you.
God,
After you
the
got
first
past
thing
the
of
river.
But see,
Beyblade was
but
so good.
Blade, like that was only like that only came out once a week. Like if you notice, it shows like come
Well,
on
I'm-
like, every day versus just like.
I wasn't talking about the episodes. I was talking about like where it went consistency. It just kind of fell out of the loop.
Oh,
That's
you mean
the
like
stuff.
after the original cast, it just went to utter fucking crap?
Yeah.
And now it's not even blades, it's wheels.
Bay wheels.
Bay wheels. I can't even. I can't.
No, just no. But still, like I said, like I said, I will.
In a
give it
world
leeway
where
because of the fact-
Beyblades no
because of
longer
the fact that,
exist.
shows that there are like they're like day to day. They have to follow a certain plot line in order to be able to do it like every single day. So we'll give them a leeway on that. Yeah, basically. But other than that, it's just like, okay. Mind you, I haven't even watched the new one.
I stopped watching Beyblade after the second part way through the second series.
In a world
Which one?
where Beyblades are actually just wheels.
Oh, and Dre, speaking of Digimon the other day,
Mhm.
pick that up.
Funkymon.
Then yet, what?
I have no idea which one that is. I just said Funky Mon.
Funkymon?
He got the funk.
I'm like, Funkymon, the fuck?
No, the funk.
But guys, let's get back on topic.
Yeah, sorry.
Mhm.
Anyways, so yeah, no, it definitely didn't end like I thought it would with Madoka. Comparatively to Sailor Moon, I watched Sailor Moon a lot when I was a kid, just because it popped up on Toonami before Zoids did. So like, it was pretty much. I think it was like, what was it? It was Dragon Ball, Sailor Moon, Hamtaro, and then really, I completely agree. Zoids is better. Hamtaro and then Zoids, which we'll have to do a show all about Hamtaro at some point.
Oh jeez.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Speaking of
Hamtaro
Hamtaro,
time.
my
Hold on. Zach. Just don't worry about it. Let's keep with the topic.
No,
Mhm.
you brought it up. My commando in Star Wars is named Pashmina, which is the elderly like mother hamster in Hamtaro. Just throwing that out.
Good
there.
job.
Good job, Zach.
But
It was relevant.
yeah, I only watched it really because it was on in between Dragon Ball and Zoids. I think it was Zoid Zero. Because it had the Liger Zero. And that was the main reason I watched it, was because of it being on in between that. I mean, it was all right. It just wasn't. I mean, it never caught my attention. Now, Madoka.
To be honest, I'm not trying to be funny. It makes no sense.
Oh yeah,
Like,
Madoka.
you tried
However,
watching it, I was like, what?
God, that story, and then just like, who cares? We already announced we're doing spoilers, so who cares? Her becoming a god blew my mind. I did not expect that. Completely out of left field.
Was it back when I watched it? I was just like, oh, okay, so that's how you're gonna fix it. All right,
Well, of course, that's the easiest plot fix in the world.
basically.
I mean,
But
look
it's-
at Haruhi.
But it's not a bad. But it's not a bad. It's not like it's a plot fix. It's you could tell after
even a
watching
plot-
it that it's not a plot fix because they started out.
It was the ending.
Yeah,
She's
that's
only-
what they.
She
Yeah, that's what they
and
intended to
what's
go to.
crazy is at the end, Homura gives up her friendship to fight off the very things that the very magical girls that had turned into those demon. I forgot what they're called. They're demons essentially, right? As I remember, they're more. As I remember, the
The
magical
witches.
girls. Witches, yes.
Yeah.
We're based off. We're based. As I remember, Madoka and all them were based off liches. It's like a being that eventually will turn into the very thing that
Yeah.
their power, they'll eventually turn into that, and Homura is one of the longest I think she gets to the point where she lasts the longest, and at the very end, you see her stand up against a horde, like after everything had pretty much fallen, and her standing there fighting hordes of them off. I mean, that's a little exaggerated, but
Oh gosh, and then is it bad to like when I saw what was her name, Mame or whatever her name was?
Mammy, oh god.
Yeah, when her head got bit off.
Oh,
God.
you
I don't know why, that brought me
and
so
you did not expect that. That wasn't even like you thought she was gonna be senpai, and you thought she was gonna lead them to victory.
Oh, yeah.
No, by that episode, you got attached to Mammy. They did a wonderful job, even though they had introduced her just like an episode before, right? A couple episodes before, right? And somehow they got you attached to her, right? Got people who were all critical on that, like, oh, she's gonna be the senpai that is like, oh, I'm gonna teach these youngins how to do things, right? No,
Mm-mm.
no.
Well, see, luckily for me, I didn't even get attached to her. I was more so to Homura.
Gosh, no, I liked her. I was like, no! And then at first I thought that her wish, Madoka's wish, was gonna hey, I want to bring back everybody that died.
This is not Dragon Ball Z, okay?
It's not Naruto either.
They did say that the cat thing said you can make any wish.
Cube?
Yeah, Kyubey was just like you can make any wish. I mean, any wish would include bringing people back to life.
Never said it didn't.
Zach did not hear you at all.
I said, or more wishes.
Ah, that's a good idea too.
It's
See,
not a genie, so
if you have the option
there's
of
no
getting
point stated.
if you have the option of getting a wish or wishes, always wish for more wishes.
Unless it's a genie, then you can't.
Well, here just a second. I got a great joke. So there's this guy. He's on the beach and he rubs this lamp, and this genie comes out. The genie's like, "Hey, I'll give you one wish." The guy's like, "Well, I've always wanted to go to Hawaii, but I get really seasick and I don't like airplanes. Will you build me a highway to Hawaii from California?" The genie's like, "Man, come on, give me something that's actually possible." He's like, "Well, I've always wanted to understand women." And the genie immediately says, "All right, do you want that to be 2 lanes or 4 lanes?"
God damn.
It's true though.
I know you're gonna pull one of those out on us.
Yeah,
Bully her.
I just had to. That was great since I mentioned
Right?
since we mentioned Genie. But no, I was really happy. I will say there's a song that I listen to all the time called "God Is a Girl." I do not have any idea who it's by. I gotta find out who it's by. But that song, every time I hear it, all I can think of is like the very the very last episode of Madoka, where like she's just like flying through space and stuff, and like that song just runs through my mind the entire time, and I'm just like thinking of her flying through space and stuff. The other thing I really liked about Madoka, it finished. It really doesn't have any questions after I finished it. It doesn't have anything extra that it needed. It was just Boom. There you go.
And leading up to the very thing, and actually it had wonderful for character development wise. Madoka actually had a lot of like really well done character development for what they presented. Also, they were consistent on when they were advancing like plot points and in scenarios. They were very consistent about it. They didn't drag out anything if they didn't need to. Sometimes you needed that. They needed to drag out probably the last 4 episodes if you notice that. And that's about it, and that was needed where it was doing the pacing in those were needed to be slower than what they had been doing, because in the first like 5 you're rushing through it, like it feels like it is going, everything's going by and by and by, and yes it feels like it is it feels like as you're watching Madoka, like it feels like they're rushing through it, which a lot of people in the community had this problem with it when leading up to, when going overviewing it after the episodes had released, which it feels really fast, but that's part of it, right? What the script for that, right? And just the writers behind Madoka were just like, let's take the audience and run them through it, and then slow down, and then drop them in on a rock, and then bring them back up.
Drop the rock.
Yes. And I'd have to say what I did like was the witch what Homura fought at the end.
Oh yeah, the freaking, and then it like.
Oh yeah, that was.
What was it? It like, it was one witch, and then like it had like that dual witch that came before it. Oh god, it was great.
And I just.
And then all the freaking guns.
Oh my god, she could open up essentially like
pocket dimension,
the space-time continuum, and just an alternate dimension, and just grab any kind of weapon she needed to. And how it was just so fun to watch the mortar she used. I think there were 249 saws or whatever, right? She used most of the time, and she just went ham on that creature. And I like even in that fight, here's a psychological element to it, right? You look at. You look at how when Homura's fighting, you can see how much pain she's going through as she's fighting the witch.
Yeah. Not
in the sense of physical pain, but through all the mental stress she's gone through. Because everything leading up to that point is like, oh crap, she screwed up on this alternate route, right? Madoka dies earlier here. She's been messing around with the strings because she's been trying to stop what Kyubey is doing.
Yeah, right? But it all converges.
And yes, because then didn't it make as I recall, it makes like a paradox,
something like that. Because was it?
I don't know.
She went back in time. I was like, God damn. It's like,
once you figure that out, you're like, what the hell? Because at that point you didn't when it started out, you just thought Homer, like, oh, I'm the kid that transferred in. I loved how they started the first episode out. They had you thinking. Probably through the first 3 episodes. From the first 3 episodes, they had you thinking a lot, and they kept you afloat.
Yeah, she was just like that one chick that just didn't care about anything. That was a really interesting part, because at the beginning of her having all this, like all the timelines, she like super cared. She was like super nerd, blah blah blah, and then she gets out of bed that last time, and she's just like floomp, flings her hair back, floomp, fixes her eyes, boom, she's there. She don't care.
And like, what's crazy is that with the psychological factor, when you're watching the anime, you don't really, it's never really, it's shown to you a couple times, but if you read the characters and as you lead up to the build point kind of thing, up to like maybe the climax of the story of the original, just regular Madoka Magica, right? You have a tendency, they actually draw things in, if you noticed, or just how the characters go at things, specifically Homura, and you just watch her, like if she was a real person.
Oh yeah, like
if you look, because there's sometimes she'll show it, but like you could just tell, not like they would like pan to it, but you could just tell on her facial expression if you saw it, like on not a background shot, but like maybe off to the side if you saw her or what she would be doing.
Yeah. And like it was really great, like seeing her friends and stuff like that, like oh dang, I'm trying to remember what the heck, her best friend that she was like hanging out with, that ended up becoming a Sayaka, whenever she like became the magical girl and all that, and you could slowly see Sayaka like losing her touch with reality, and then and then Sayaka's just like, boom, I'm a witch. Oh god.
Jesus.
And then I liked how it changed whenever Madoka became the god, and like she's just
Yeah.
like, boom, I just wanted to see him play, and then she's like, all right, well, you're gone now, boom. But it was really nice. I mean, there's still the evil in the world, but instead of just continuously having to soak up the evil and then become the evil, they don't have to become the evil anymore. It just everything's expelled and they disappear. They dissipate.
Can I throw something out there?
What's
Yeah.
that?
Haruhi did it first.
See, I don't understand what you're saying. So
Yeah,
every time
okay.
you say Haruhi, all I think of is
Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya.
okay,
Good,
well,
worth a watch.
She's throwing it at me.
all I
Chad,
keep thinking
what
of,
is that?
I know. All I keep thinking of is what is it, Orchan High School or whatever,
Oh,
High School Boy Club or whatever.
Brian can't, oh my god, I cannot remember.
Just a second, I got the name.
Or in High School Host Club.
Yep, that one.
That's
do
it.
not compare the great our goddess
Hey.
Haruhi with that. Even though I did like Orin High School Host Club. It's
Yeah, it
just
was
only
very
reason-
good.
two different scales. You don't even.
The only reason I can fact check that is I have two binders of DVDs from Ring that are just all anime.
Animu.
And one of them happens, that's how I actually watched Host Club. Was no internet for like 3 days, so I was like, screw it, I'm giving you my anime.
I mean, pretty much what he's referencing there, Shad, right? Haruhi Suzumiya in the actual, like, what it is, she's a god, and she wishes, she's essentially a god, right? That's the point he's really making a point at. She's a legitimate god. If she wishes she wants $1 billion, the next day she'll have $1 billion, right? That's what he's really going at.
It's what were the three
But we're not talking about that. Whenever you're talking about God, we're talking about the central thing that, how Madoka, and we reference God, right? That's what Haruhi is, and that's what you're throwing right there.
Yeah.
So that's what he's going at.
Gotcha.
Chad.
Yeah.
And like every time I hear like when Madoka's a god, I think Haruhi is like the original like anime god, and then I hear Aya Hirano, Japanese singer, way back in more of a popular singer in their mid 2000s, early 2000s. God knows her song. So. But that's not what I get from Madoka, because that would be how she sings that to what Madoka ends. I'm probably more likely to. I just looked up what your song you're thinking of, and I actually know what that is.
Does it? What, you don't think it fits?
No, I think it fits.
Oh yeah, it
The
fits.
one that I'm thinking has
perfectly.
no fitting at all to the
Yeah.
ending. You were talking about the ending to Madoka, and that one actually is perfect because you're only specifically getting the ending.
Yeah, literally just like while she's flying in space and all that.
Yeah.
It's just like, and then freaking Cuba is just like, well, I mean, if you do this, it's just gonna create a bigger thing, a bigger comet of all dark force that's gonna hit the Earth. And then Madoka's like, not if the way that I said it comes true, because then before I ever become this dark magic, then I'll disappear. It's just like, whoa. How that little tiny girl just thought through that entire thing.
Yeah. Like, you don't really grip me, right? If we go back to that, what episode was it? When Madoka's explaining, she's flashing back into what actually happened before she started, jumping different parallel worlds and jumping to different times.
That's like the
trying to
second to
scout.
last episode.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it is the second to last episode. But shit, that is probably one of the one of my favorite moments actually. Because I don't know what it is, but I enjoyed, like, in my own right, I enjoyed watching Homer go through the pain and then seeing her resolve.
Yeah.
That was
Well,
where it was
Homura.
obviously Homura, yeah. But
Yeah, no,
and
that was
like,
really
that
nice.
scene where, like, I think it's been a while since I watched it, but like that scene where she's like Madoka and they're laying there, just like I have that engraved in my mind as I talk about this. That's all I can. That's all. That's all it really gets to me. Or like, oh yeah, here's something else too, right? Did you like the opening?
Yeah.
The opening, if you go look up the lyrics to the opening, right, it really fits the actual Madoka itself. Like, it just, oh god.
I think I think the lyrics popped up on whenever I was watching it on Netflix.
It should be, because I remember that one actually had subs
Yeah.
for the.
I watched
That's not where I
dubbed,
watched
and
it.
it was actually really good dubbed.
I actually will say it was good dubbed. One of these days when you can get past to watching, when you can actually decide to go watch to give you like a review of a Japanese dub, right? Go watch it Japanese too. It was good either way, because they actually had as I remember, who dubbed it was Aniplex of America.
Yep.
And yeah, you pay out the butt for their shit, because they always just throw out like limited edition box sets. But they try the hardest to find voice actors that fit the character.
Yeah.
And that's why they play. That's why it's so hard. That's why it's so much money to buy their shit, because of that. And when they tack on English dub, I will say that, because Aniplex of America dubs, I mean, they're better than Funimation dubs. I'm telling you now. Like, I watched Fate Zero, because I like that either way, dubbed or Japanese. I watched the Fate series, Fate Zero, and Fate Unlimited Blaze Works, and they got every character correct. So with Madoka, I went and rewatched that, and all I could do was like, I got the same feels as I did watching the Japanese version. So that's what I know is a good dub in my opinion.
Yeah.
So the dub was, when you watched it in English, you really didn't miss anything, in my opinion. And the dubbing for Madoka for the English version was excellent, and the actual original dub, which is the Japanese dub, right, was just actually pretty damn good as well. Like, they had some good voice actors during for their casting for Madoka itself.
Yeah.
And it really played and you could tell how they expressed their emotion. Like, the Japanese wise, you could really tell that, and how they played the characters, they really got you like on your feet specifically. Like, there's a good point when you remember when Mammy dies. We all remember that.
Oh god, yes.
Right? Okay, that one dub got me shaking, English dub, just as much as the Japanese version did, which was just as fucking curdling. Like, just as like, what the fuck? Like, my heart was racing, because this is like me going back to when I originally watched it. Like, I was like, why the fuck did you kill me? Why? Like, I wanted to flip the table and walk away. I paused, got up, got a drink, and stood in the kitchen for a bit, and I almost cried. Not kidding you.
Yeah. I completely understand. Oh. Man, this turned from supposed to be Madoka and Sailor Moon to Madoka.
Well,
Sailor Moon sucks, Madoka.
Well, that's because the English Sailor Moon had so many problems, and I don't think any of us have went back and actually watched. I don't think any of us have actually went back and watched Crystal yet. So
Dre, did you?
no point in bringing it up.
I've watched Crystal, but I'm probably the only one who's kept up with Crystal. I wanted to see but that's pretty much it.
Dre, did you say that there was a lot of plot holes or buttholes?
Wow.
A little bit of both.
Okay.
Well,
A little bit of both.
As long as they're winking at you.
I mean, the original Sailor Moon was like what it was quite literally, no matter what people say, it was an 80s anime, all right? And it was them doing an adaptation to a manga that had yet to be finished. It's kind of like, if we're gonna talk a little bit Sailor Moon, this is what I'm doing right here. Sailor Moon was like if you would watch Rurouni Kenshin, which Rurouni Kenshin was actually good, but where they pretty much, at that point, he'd only had like maybe 5 volumes out. I don't remember, but he had a very small number of volumes.
So
they got through 2 seasons and followed the manga like perfectly, but then had to switch to filler because
like
it
Fullmetal
was
Alchemist.
finished.
I actually have, I think, a better comparison. Hellsing, the original Hellsing.
Oh, where it was just that would be a better one because it was just
where it was
completely
literally
off from...
the second half was original story.
Well,
rather than filler.
The same thing for Fullmetal Alchemist. The first one, not Brotherhood,
The original, yeah.
the original. The
yeah.
ending wasn't even written, so the person who wrote and all that for the manga was just like, yeah, y'all just make up y'all's own ending.
Yeah, But the thing is that Haruo Arakawa, the difference with that one, why I'll actually say this right here, was Haruo Arakawa praised the alternative of her anime. She openly states in, I think, in an interview in like an article I read, like that was translated from Japan, or as I think it was like a recording, I forgot, saying that she liked it. So that alternative was considered canon in an alternate concept. She liked that.
Oh yeah.
She
But
liked
I mean,
it.
it was really good. I still liked it, but it's the same idea.
Oh,
They're going to say
Yeah, you're right.
When it comes to Sailor Moon, though, like as far as character development, their biggest problem was the fact that each character, it's like their, I guess like their powers, like who they were, or relied on their personality. So it wasn't like they could really change it or do anything with it because it had to be that specific thing, if I'm remembering correctly. Because wasn't like Mercury had to be like the smart one. This one had to be
Yeah.
this one, like all that. So it's just like when you
So
do
it's
that,
just
you might
like
as well
Captain
choose something
Planet.
good. Huh?
So it's just like Captain Planet.
Well, the problem
I mean,
is.
but at the
Well, no,
period of
they
time,
don't really
wait.
follow a character. Like they're not, but that's not really like oh well this person has to be like this.
I was making a
That's all
joke.
Oh.
If I remember correctly, series have done stuff like that properly. In the past.
But with Sailor Moon, it was just kind of like, and like back then, voice acting Japanese or dub wasn't that great. Regardless, they're just getting out of the 80s. I think the best dub / Japanese Japanese dub I heard at like going back and forth like was Gundam, like their UC timeline, like the Zeta in that period of Zeta. I think it was the best English dub and the best Japanese dub I heard from most other animes that were just like, were you screaming into a toilet when you did this? Japanese, and then it's like the
Wait, are
and
you
then-
talking
and
about
then-
DBZ?
not DBZ, I'm talking about Slur. Oh,
I mean, all DB, all I mean, like there's like
Hey,
probably
hey.
like 80 episodes of DBZ that's
Hey.
just ah.
They didn't get paid for it
Well,
initially.
I mean, Dragon Ball was like, the dub was like, oh, and the Japanese version was like, ah! Literally,
That's because all the main characters in the Japanese version, I think almost every character in Dragon Ball was done by females. Almost every character.
that,
Except for a few
It's slow
people that are
realization.
ready with an army. And maybe, God, what was the villain in it?
Time
that
to
they
go
brought
Super
back?
Saiyan!
Who was the villain they brought back for Dragon Ball Z near the end?
God Cat.
When Goku and them that got turned into children.
I can't
It was
remember.
it was the guy that's like Garlic Jr.
Something like that.
It was the Red Mist.
Hey, Vegeta. Vegeta.
The Red Mist.
It's over.
Or Black Water Mist, I should say. Oh, it was Garlic Jr.
Garlic Jr. You know,
It was Garlic Jr.
you know what
Well, it's
you know what you do with him? You bring him to a vampire party to kill all the vampires.
Or you throw him in with vegetables and be happy.
There you go. I mean, sautéed.
Oh,
Hey,
sorry, I mean Vegeta.
sautéed garlic is great.
But going back to Madoka, I'd have to say too, if you go download, or like I say that, but if you go and just kind of if you remember its soundtrack too behind it,
Mm-hmm.
like, and now that one, Drake, just saying now with Madoka, that one actually if there hadn't been a soundtrack, you wouldn't have got as much, the emotion behind it wouldn't have been as heard, in my opinion. Like that one specifically, because it was trying to be psychological in its own right. So with music, that helped resonate what you know, the director, the writers were trying to express. And I have to say, they had Calafina do, like, I think it was the Magi, one of the songs, which fit that gypsy style pop pretty much with what Madoka was.
Yeah.
No, and it just like that theme fit with Madoka in its own right. I mean, seriously. And I mean, the music, even the regular BGM in the back, it just, everything came together really well. Like, so, as we pretty much, as viewers, we rant about Madoka, even though we did say we were going to talk about Sailor Moon, but instead we just kind of shat on Sailor Moon. This is really just a Madoka talk cast.
Wait, we sat on Sailor Moon?
we shat on Sailor Moon. We're just like, whatever. Sailor Moon is trash.
Sailor Moon was a product of its time, and even
Yeah.
then, it wasn't that good of a product. Because it set itself up too many times to fail. But that was only in the English that it set itself up to fail more so than in the Japanese, because the English is the only one that made male Sailor Scouts, which is something that is stated in the show and manga that's impossible.
To save the world. Somebody else was supposed to start helping me with that. I'm doing Team Rocket
Nope.
thing.
Nope.
Okay, well, we're doing a little bit of a shorter episode today, just because A, we're all tired, and B, I think we've kind of hit all the points to really hit on this topic. So any last words, Yade?
Nope.
Dre?
Sailor Moon was bad.
Okay.
I'm good.
And Zach?
I would have to say, Sailor Moon, if you like that kind of sort of thing, have fun. And what Zach said, or Yeti said here, he did say it was a product of its time, and I understand. Okay, meanwhile, they were watching Dragon Ball Z, I was watching Stardust Memory and OAMS Team Gundam. So, so enjoy some Sailor Moon if you like that kind of thing. But personally, and I think in all our preference, I think Madoka is probably the winner in that one.
And this is
In the
what I
sense
have
of
to say.
gripping you
Hey,
is
I
a
was watching
better
Star
magic.
Sheriff.
And this is what I have to
I was
say.
watching Star Sheriff at the time.
Outlaw Starman, 1998.
Yep.
Oh, go Shad.
In a world where Madoka wins the conversation, that world
yeah.
is this world.
Fans not everywhere because they don't care.
See, the only thing they're missing in Madoka is a showing from John Cena. John Cena!
No, that's like the true ending.
Somebody just
All
needs
that shit.
somebody just needs to make take the video and then just over Madoka, just put a picture of John Cena looking like he's trying to fly.
Oh my god.
Because John Cena is a magical girl.
Alright.
Alright, guys. So that's going to be wrapping up for today. Goodbye. Remember to comment, like, and subscribe. And,
Don't do it. It's a trap.
I mean, that was a really good episode of Family Guy, though. And Dre... Oh, wrong way still. There we go. Dre, down in the corner there. And myself have channels. They will be linked in the description of this video. So, yeah, come check it out. My stuff really isn't going to be starting a lot until come later next week. But, yeah, definitely come check us out. Next week's episode is going to be either...
Something that has to do with anime, so yeah.
It's either going to be either Yu-Gi-Oh! Versus Vanguard or MMO crafting systems. And if we do that, we're going to cover WoW, SWTOR, and Final Fantasy. But it'll be one of those... I'm not really setting a specific topic, and from now on these will actually come out on Fridays. So that way, just in case all of us have stuff that happens at the weekends when we were recording this, we're able to get it done later in the week. So that way we can put it out more often for y'all. Thanks, and... Oh, that was nasty. Goodbye, everybody.